In 1978, the average Chinese citizen earned less than the average Indian. By 2024, they earn 4 times more. This isn't a story about hard work. Both countries have that. It isn't about population size. India actually has more people now. And it definitely isn't about democracy versus authoritarianism, because that explanation is lazy and misses the entire point. What happened between 1978 and today is one of the most dramatic economic transformations in human history. 800 million people lifted out of poverty. And the method they used? India had the same blueprint, they just refused to follow it. Both countries started from roughly the same place, poor, agricultural, recently independent from colonial rule. Both had massive populations the world saw as liabilities. Both were written off by Western economists. And both chose socialism, central planning, state-owned everything. For decades, this was the orthodox approach. The state controls everything, and somehow prosperity will appear. It didn't. By the late 70s, China was coming off the Cultural Revolution. Tens of millions dead from famine. The economy was essentially feudal. India had spent 30 years building a bureaucratic maze so complex that starting a business required 80 licenses. Both systems were choking their own people, but then China did something that changed everything. And India? India waited another 13 years to even consider it. December 1978. Deng Xiaoping, who survived 2 political purges, stood up and said something revolutionary. It doesn't matter if a cat is black or white as long as it catches mice. Translation: ideology is worthless if people are starving. What followed wasn't capitalism, it was stranger. China kept calling itself communist while dismantling everything that word meant. They called it socialism with Chinese characteristics, which is possibly the most brilliant rebranding in modern history. Here's what actually happened. Farmers who had been forced into collective farms could suddenly keep what they grew after meeting quotas. Agricultural output exploded. Turns out people work harder when they benefit directly. Then came special economic zones. Specific cities where foreign companies could set up factories with tax breaks and fewer regulations. Shenzhen went from a fishing village to 11 million people in 30 years. Then the big move. Local governments could start businesses and keep the profits. Communist Party officials became venture capitalists because their careers depended on growth. They were incentivized to build, attract investment, compete with each other. The central government set the rules and let regions fight it out. Best ideas scaled, worst ones died quietly. By the 90s, China became the factory floor of the world. But this was engineered. They kept their currency artificially cheap, made exports incredibly attractive, built infrastructure at an impossible pace. Highways, ports, power grids, all designed to move goods efficiently. And they were willing to lose money on these projects for decades. Infrastructure isn't an expense, it's a bet on the future. Western companies saw cheap labor and flooded in. Apple, Nike, everyone. They brought technology, management systems, global market access. China absorbed all of it. They didn't just make products, they learned how to make products. Then they learned to make better products. Then they made their own. This is moving up the value chain, the only way a country actually gets rich. In the 2010s, China was pouring hundreds of billions into advanced manufacturing, robotics, electric vehicles, semiconductors. They weren't content being the world's assembly line. It took Britain 50 years to double its GDP per capita during the Industrial Revolution. China did it in 9. So, that's how China did it. 3 decisions: agricultural reform, special economic zones, infrastructure investment. But here's the question everyone's asking. If India had the same blueprint,
the same population, the same starting point. Why couldn't they do the same thing? That answer? It's more uncomfortable than you think, and we'll break it down in part 2.